Once upon a time, in a quaint little village surrounded by rolling green hills and golden fields, there lived a young milkmaid named Clara. Clara was known throughout the village for her cheerful demeanor, her hardworking nature, and, most of all, her vivid imagination. Every morning, she would wake up before the sun rose, put on her simple dress and apron, and head to the barn to milk her beloved cow, Daisy. Daisy was a gentle and loyal cow, and she provided Clara with the freshest, creamiest milk in the entire village. Clara would carefully fill her pail with the milk, balancing it on her head as she walked to the market to sell it. The villagers loved Clara's milk, and she always returned home with a few coins jingling in her pocket. But Clara was not content with just selling milk. She had big dreams, dreams of a life filled with riches, luxury, and adventure. And one fateful morning, as she walked to the market with her pail of milk, her imagination began to run wild. As Clara walked along the dusty path, the sun began to rise, casting a golden glow over the fields. She glanced at the pail of milk balanced on her head and thought, "This milk is so fresh and delicious. I'll sell it at the market for a good price. With the money I earn, I'll buy a dozen eggs from Farmer John." She smiled to herself as she imagined the eggs. "I'll take the eggs home and hatch them. Soon, I'll have a dozen fluffy little chicks. They'll grow into healthy hens, and each hen will lay eggs every day. I'll have so many eggs that I can sell them at the market too. With the money from the eggs, I'll buy a young piglet." Clara's eyes sparkled with excitement as her dream grew bigger. "The piglet will grow into a fine, fat pig. I'll feed it well, and when it's big enough, I'll sell it at the market for a handsome sum. With that money, I'll buy a calf. The calf will grow into a strong cow, just like Daisy. Soon, I'll have a whole herd of cows." She giggled as she imagined herself as the wealthiest milkmaid in the village. "With all that money, I'll buy a beautiful dress, a fancy hat, and a pair of shiny shoes. I'll attend the village festival, and all the young men will admire me. They'll line up to dance with me, and I'll choose the handsomest one to be my husband. We'll live in a grand house with a garden full of flowers, and I'll never have to work again." Lost in her daydream, Clara began to skip along the path, her pail of milk still balanced precariously on her head. She twirled and danced, imagining herself at the festival, wearing her beautiful dress and dancing with her handsome suitor. But as she twirled, the pail tilted, and before she could catch it, the milk spilled all over the ground. Clara froze, her heart sinking as she watched the creamy white milk seep into the dry earth. Her dreams of eggs, chicks, pigs, cows, and a life of luxury vanished in an instant. She knelt down, staring at the empty pail, tears welling up in her eyes. "Oh no," she cried. "All my dreams are gone. What'll I do now?" Just then, Clara heard a soft chuckle behind her. She turned to see an old woman walking toward her, leaning on a wooden cane. The woman had a kind face, wrinkled with age, and her eyes sparkled with wisdom. "Why are you crying, child?" the old woman asked gently. Clara sniffled and wiped her tears. "I spilled all my milk," she said. "I was dreaming of all the things I could buy with the money I earned, but now it's all gone." The old woman nodded thoughtfully. "Ah, I see. You were so busy dreaming about the future that you forgot to pay attention to the present.